Hello everyone, Joe here with Garden of Luma. Have you ever wanted to grow a food forest in your backyard but just didn't know where to begin? Well, today I'm going to talk about some tips for designing your food forest. I'm going to show you guys really quickly some before and after pics of my yard. So what my yard currently looks like, as well as what it looked like when I first moved into the house in 2016. So I've been here about 2 years. We moved in December of 2016. It's currently December of 2018. So this is what it can look like just in 2 years' time of establishing a food forest. I gardened a lot before we moved into this house and had a lot going on there as well, so it wasn't like new to me. But with a little bit of effort, a little bit of work, a little bit of research, anybody can design a food forest. And just to kind of give you guys an idea of how much space I have in my yard, so my entire lot is 8,000 square feet. So it's not very big. It's about 1/5 of an acre. And so, take away my house in the front yard, I'm only about 3,000 to 4,000 square feet here in my backyard. So kind of keep that in mind of what you can do with small spaces in an urban setting. All right, let me show you here. I wanted to give you a quick panoramic view of my yard. This is 2 years after starting this food forest. We moved into this house in December 2016. It's December 2018 currently, and keep in mind it's winter right now, so it's not as lush and green as it would be in the spring. You can see some of my frost structures are up currently. All my tropicals and containers here under my patio. So it is winter. But this just gives you guys an idea of what is possible just in a couple years of building your food forest. All my mangoes there tucked away in the frost structures. And this yard was completely rock, completely bare and open when we purchased the house. So there you go. Hello, welcome back. One of the first things in creating your food forest is figuring out the types of things that you want to be growing and eating. I highly recommend trying the different fruits or vegetables before you plant it, or actually know that you like to eat it before you spend all the time and energy into growing those types of things. If you want to experiment with new things later on, that's great. I do that a lot. But initially, grow those things, establish that food forest with things that you want to eat and you enjoy. The second thing that's key to designing your food forest is know your yard, know your microclimates. I'm not going to get too much into microclimates in this video today, but if you want to check out gardenofluma.com, I write a really good blog post describing what a microclimate is and just more details on that. So definitely check that out. I'll link below to that. But basically, microclimates, every yard has a unique climate to it. So for example, if your neighbor's yard was just a wide open dirt lot and yours had some established trees in it, well, that open lot is going to be more susceptible to winds, to colds, versus your yard that may have some established trees that can provide that shelter and different thing. So as you can see, each yard is unique with what's in it, with the climates in your yard. So know those types of things before you start your food forest. If it is that open lot, like mine was just bare rock pretty much, we'll know that you're going to have to create some microclimates by doing some different things. So know your yard before you start planting things, and then know the types of trees and what they like. So some trees may just thrive in a lot of sun, whereas others might like a little bit more shade or wind protection, cold protection. So keep those in mind when you're designing your food forest. 3, the actual design process. So there are a lot of good apps or different things if you want to utilize your computer to design. I'm kind of old school, so I just like a pen and paper, just sitting, jotting down my ideas, and that is how I design my backyard. You know, I like to brainstorm by writing things out. I drew a diagram of my backyard and I just kind of played around with putting different fruit trees in different spots, putting my garden box in different spots, and things like that. So, you know, utilize pen and paper is what I like to do, but you can also do different, like, you know, apps or whatever that you find online, you know, whatever you're most comfortable with. But definitely kind of lay it out first before you go around digging holes and putting stuff wherever you want it. It's gonna save you in the long run from maybe having to move a fruit tree or whatever if it's not in the right location. So lay it out first and then go from there. Sun exposure. So living in a hot, dry climate like I'm in the Phoenix, Arizona area, too much sun can be too much of a good thing, whereas others in other parts of the country or world may need as much sun as possible. So in your areas, in that case, you may not want to plant near a tree where it's going to shade and give that extra shade, whereas in my climate and conditions, that shade can be everything the tree needs to thrive and grow. So keep that in mind, your sun exposures. Do a little research in your yard if you're new to your home, like what direction your house is facing. Is it north facing, south facing, west, east, that type of thing? You know, that's gonna give you a lot of indication of where you wanna plant certain things, as well as, like, keep in mind that winter sun exposure, it can be different than summer sun exposure. So, you know, if you want to make sure that your trees are getting adequate sun in the winter as well as the summer, know where the sun kind of is going to be at during those times of the year. Consider how much work you want to put into your yard too. That's another major thing to think about. Caring for a food forest is a lot of work. I have 2 large raised beds. I have 25 to 30 fruit trees in my backyard, different plants and shrubs. So I'm out here doing a lot of care, a lot of watering, you know, a lot of maintenance to the yard. So keep that in mind as well. Maybe you only want to do a couple things to start with just to see how much work and effort you want to put into it. So those are just some of the tips to consider when you're initially designing your food forest. Check me out at gardenofluma.com for more tips on growing, gardening, growing fruit trees specifically for hot and dry climates. Thanks for watching.